Well, we all know how important it is to get to the doctor's office on time, and for thousands of needy families all across the state, they're relying on a taxpayer-funded program to get them to those appointments and then back home.
But the News 8 investigators are finding those rides sometimes aren't showing up, and it is causing some big problems, too. Our chief investigator, David Iverson, live for us tonight. He has more on this story and what he has found. David?
That's right. About 25,000 patients taking trips every month. But for the ones that contacted us, those rides are far from reliable.
I would have been playing tuba if your grandma had a tuba.
His love of music came from family and the jazz piano greats.
This is my refuge.
Here at his Seymour apartment, Joe Luciano passes the time with familiar tunes on his keyboard.
I get all stressed out whenever I go outside.
Luciano now calls himself Five Fingers Joe. A stroke took the use of his left hand and his ability to walk, but not his passion for music.
I'm still playing today. I'm not letting this left hand wipe me out. My mouth is my left hand now.
On this day, he's getting ready to go out. He has a doctor's appointment in a nearby town. To get there, he, like 25,000 others in Connecticut, rely on medical transportation provided through the state's Husky healthcare plan.
What time will you be here?
But like so many of those needy patients, that transportation sometimes never comes.
I'm amazed whenever they show up on time.
He's relying on a taxpayer-funded program through Logisticare, a company that Connecticut taxpayers paid $1.9 million to last year. That company coordinates with a total of 61 cab companies to pick up and drop off patients. The only problem is that Luciano says those taxis leave him behind, not just from home, but doctor's offices, hospitals, or dentists.
The van was so late that the painkiller wore off.
And he's not alone.
There's a lot of people coming.
Benjamin is just like any high-energy fifth grader. He likes his video games and his German Shepherd, Smokey. 2 or 3 times a week, he and his family wait by the phone, waiting for the taxi to call and arrive. But those taxis aren't arriving.
Benjamin has missed 5 of his last 7 appointments.
Not pleased about it. Out of 1 million rides, 400's a small number.
According to records provided by the state, there were 1,600 complaints that Logisticare considered valid, but an estimated 3,000 complaints were filed just last year. The top 2 complaints, those taxis showing up late or never at all. The thing of it is, there are millions of these cab trips across the state every single year. So the thinking goes, what's a few thousand complaints? How does the state collect these numbers? They're provided by Logisticare.
Can we do better? Absolutely.
How much better is up to Logisticare. They decline to comment on any of this. Department of Social Services recognizes there are problems and have been in corrective action mode with Logisticare since June 2013. They can fine the company for poor performance, but haven't done it yet. So far, it's just talks. Luciano says he's filed more than 30 complaints about his rides.
I'm a thorn in the side of a lot of people.
And while Benjamin waits for his taxi,
Zip it up.
his mom, Leanne, remains hopeful that things will get better.
I think that they're going to show up tonight, and the reason they're going to show up tonight is because it's my birthday.
On this occasion, Metro Taxi arrived on time, but the driver says the pay for these types of pickups makes it hard to justify taking the call at all. Is it worth it for a fare like this?
Well, that we're early to boot. How'd that happen?
Now, again, we reached out to Logisticare several times. They never got back to us. The question now is, if the rides don't show up, does the state still pay? The answer is no. Medicaid only pays once the patient gets to their appointment. The problem is that happening every time? We've got more on this story on our website. You're going to want to see. It's under the Investigators tab on WTNH.com. Ann and Darren?
All right, David, thank you. If you have something you want the investigators to look into, give them a call. That number is right there. It's a tip line phone number. It's 203-402-TIP-8.